What is the slope-intercept form of an equation? What is it? Okay, so y equals mx plus b. This is the slope-intercept. Okay, most important type of or form of a linear equation that we need to know. Because it gives us directly right there, it gives us the slope, gives us the y-intercept. This is the easiest way to graph, slope and y-intercept. Now, other ways they can give you equations, what's another form that you might get an equation in? Standard form, you know what it is? dy. Okay, that one's standard form. One more we discussed. Slope. Now, how does this have slope in the answer? And it is an important one, and you will find this on your ESC test. Which is why I showed you specific ways how to manipulate this equation. You remember? Nope, that's the slope equation. Y2 minus 1 over x2x minus x. Something like that. Nobody's on the right track. It's called point slope. You do have to know. We don't use it a whole lot, but you do have to know it. You do have to know how to manipulate it to get it into slope-intercept, because they will give you this one on your ESC. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x. Really close. But they give you the point and the slope in that equation. So you got those three standard types of the linear equation, with that slope-intercept being the main one that you're going to use. And you can do other things with other too, but the slope-intercept is the one that you're going to rely on the most. So with any equation, whether they give it to you in standard, which is what we worked a little bit with yesterday, or in point slope, today you're going to manipulate these two equations and put them in slope-intercept. Okay? So yesterday we did talk about going from standard to slope-intercept. How did we do that? To go from standard to slope-intercept. You should have that in your notes from yesterday. What do we need to do? To go from standard to slope-intercept. What's the first step there? Okay, so we moved this AX over to the other side, right? So the first step we did was we're either going to add or subtract the AX to the other side, to the right side, left side, doesn't matter, because they can switch the sides around, so I'm just going to say to the other side. Don't really say the right side, because they may not have it in that form. So that was the first step. What was the next step? So we moved that AX over, so that left us with dy equals, in this case it's positive, so negative AX plus b. Now we're still, the whole goal is trying to get that y by itself, so what do we do there, Sam? Divide everything by b. So you end up with negative a over bx plus c over b. And of course you have numbers in there. So you divide everything by b, whatever that number is. And some of you still yesterday were not remembering that if b is negative, you still have to divide by the negative. It makes a huge difference because it changes the whole grade of the slope, whether it's positive or negative. Alright, so if I gave you two equations, 2x minus 4y equals 10. Start with that one. Let's put it in slope-intercept. So just following the two steps we have up there, what's the first thing we got to do? We got to move what to the other side? The 2x. Well, the 2x is positive, so when I move it over here, it's going to be negative. Now, I can't forget that negative. This is negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 10. So that's what was easy. Just take that AX over to the other side. Of course, you should be writing this down. And now we got to divide by b. which in this case is a -4, so you gotta be careful. And those cancel. Now you gotta simplify that fraction. You don't want it to be a decimal. And here's what some of you are doing. You don't want decimals. When you say -2 divided by -4, it gives you a decimal. We don't want slope of decimals. We want it as a fraction. So you have to go to math and make it into a fraction. Which is going to be 1/2. But that's something that you shouldn't have had to put in the calculator anyway. You got 1/2 x. We got a positive divided by negative. And 10 divided by -4 is going to be 2.5. Or you can write this one as a fraction. Or if you want to, you can put 5/2 there. It doesn't matter. On an EOC, they're going to have 5/2. They won't have a decimal and a fraction in the same place as these definitions. Alright, so what about -5x plus 5y equals -15. And again, you should be writing these down. How many times I gotta say that? So -5x. We're gonna take it over to the other side. So this time because it's negative, when we take it over to the other side, it's gonna be, better not be going back in the chair. When we take it over to the other side, it's gonna be what? Positive. So it's gonna be positive 5x. So 5y equals 5x minus 16. Divide by the 5, which is in front of the y. And the 5's cancel, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. You really don't need to write the 1. You can write it just in case. And 15 minus 5 is 3. So what's the slope in that equation we just did? 1 over 1. The slope is 1 over 1. 1 over 1 if we're graphing, but for now it's just 1. And what is the y-intercept? It's -3. So we can graph that if we wanted. We put a dot at that -3, and we go up 1 or not 1 or down 1 level, whichever one we wanted to do. And again, all this is reviewed. Now, I got that part over the next one? So this time we're going to go from the point slope. We're going to go from point slope to point slope to slope intercept. Again, just review, but we need to make sure we know how to do it. And we want it in that y equals mx plus b form. So who can tell me what's our first step there? Generalize it. What would our first step be? Order of operations, what's the first step? Parentheses. We just use my direct balance. Parentheses is first. So we've got to distribute that slope. You gotta multiply that slope times those two things. That's the first step. Now once we distribute that slope, our parentheses are going away. What do we do with this y1? Well, if it's negative, we add it. If it's positive, we subtract it. So that second step is going to be add or subtract that y1 to the other side. And that's just a number. And from there, we should be good. So, let's see. What do you have? Make up a y minus 3 equals 4 times x plus 2. Okay, so that's endpoint slope. Who can tell me the slope of that line? 4. The slope is 4. It's right in that position where M is. The slope is 4. There's also a point I know on that line. You know what there you go? What's a point on that line? Yeah. No? Anybody else want to guess? Doing a connection of y. The whole reason for that name, point slope. Do what? 2 negative 3? Close. Negative 3, 2? Nope. Do what? Nope. Which one's the x? Which one's in the x position? This one is, right? So it's the 2's in the x, and that's in the y, but what's different about this? These are opposite signs, right? Is that blowing water in y'all? Okay, fine. If it does, you can take it down and put that one over there. What's different about these? They're opposite signs. So that means when I plugged that 2 in, it was negative. So 2 negatives make a positive. So that point should be a negative, and this one should be a positive. So the point that it goes through is actually negative 2, 3. It doesn't have anything to do with us putting it in slope intercept, but you do need to know that in case you have to graph it. Alright, so if we distribute the slope, so distribute the slope, 4 times x and 4 times 2. Doesn't change this side, it's still y minus 3. So 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 2 is 8, so that's not bad. Distributing the slope. The 3 is negative. We're doing that second step, so the opposite of minus 3 is going to be plus 3. So we get y equals 4x plus 11. And we're done. We've got 2 steps on either form. So what's the slope of that line? 4, or 4 over 1 if we have to graph it. Where does it cross the y-axis? 11. Now I'm going to make it a little bit harder here. Mine's gotten a little bit harder. It's got a fraction, but you're going to have calculators. So it's really not that bad. But you can do this one in your head. It's really not too bad. So first thing, distribute that slope. So we're going to distribute. So this side doesn't change. Now, what's the number in front of that x? 1. If you're not paying attention, then good luck next semester. And you're taking Math 1 again. Most of you going to do that. If you're not paying attention, you're expecting me to pass you when you haven't earned it, or somebody else to help you get past it, or for mom and dad to come in here and explain and maybe pass you. It's not going to work. Just telling y'all. Middle school's over with. Now, 2/3 times negative 2. Multiply by the numerator, divide by the denominator. But in this case, that's really just 2/3 over negative 2 over 1. How do you multiply fractions? You multiply straight across, don't you? So 2 times 2 is 4, or negative 2. 3 times 1 is 3. So you just leave it just like that. You don't make it into a decimal. You don't make it into a mixed number. You leave it negative 4 over 3. So this is going to be minus 4/3. And your calculator will do that right for you. If you say 2/3 times negative 2, remember it's a fraction though, so you got to put it in parentheses. 2/3 times negative 2, it gives it to you as a decimal. Remember, we want it as a decimal, so we're going to say math, enter, enter. There's that negative 1/3. Should be getting down, shouldn't you read? Should be getting it down. So we got our second step. So the opposite of plus 3 is going to be minus 3. Okay? So if we minus 3 from both sides, we mark those out. That's the whole purpose of it. So we get y equals 2/3 x Now we got negative 4/3 and negative 3. It's a whole number. We can use our calculator just like we did before. Negative 4/3. So if I say enter, that's my negative 4/3. I can just hit enter and it'll put it up there. Whoops, not what I wanted. Let me just do it. Negative 4 divided by 3. And then remember we're doing negative 4 divided by 3 minus 3. So minus 3. Again, it'll give it to me as a decimal. But I want it to be a fraction. So I'm going to say math. And I enter. And then negative 13/3. So minus 13/3. Which we're not graphing today, but if you were graphing it, what would be the slope? 2/3. So up 2, right 3, or down 2, left 3. Where would it cross the y-axis? And then 13/3, which we knew from our calculator was right around negative 4.3. So it's right around that. Okay? Questions on this one? Alright, now, what we did yesterday, or some of the things we did yesterday, you were given a table. Okay. You were given a table, and you had to find the slope and the or not the slope, you had to find the slope and the slope-intercept equation, right? So what did we do with that table? How did we do that? What did we do here? What did we do with that table? When I had, let's see. Those numbers. Don't copy those. I don't want to do those numbers. I don't want to make it too hard. So what did we do first here? How did we go from a table to an equation? We could define the slope. We could do that, but how are we going to find that y-intercept? What was the best way we could have done it? I think you were the one that told us this yesterday. That's why I asked you. Okay, well, everybody had these on their problems yesterday. Because I did 2 of these on your pennants that are hanging up around the room. So what did we do with the table? We did. So how did we find the equation? We did, but what else did we do? How did we graph it? Well, we could pick 2 points, so y'all are missing the most important thing. What do you have as a resource that you can use? Your calculator. How do you put those points in there? How did we use our calculator to put those points in there? Where did we go to put those points in there? Do what? Stat edit. So everybody gets your calculators out and go to stat edit. Put them in there. This is nothing new. This is something we've done. In fact, we've worked on this for almost a month. If you don't remember, then we're in trouble. Well, you know, you should already have your calculator out for this math class. So stat edit. If you had something in there, you got to clear it out. So you should have those points written down. You definitely got to do that first. What do we do after that? Apparently a lot of you didn't do this yesterday. I'm trying to figure out how many calculating that regression equation. And it gives you the equation right there. Well, it's not pretty, because I just made up some numbers, but it's an equation. If we went for like one decimal place, that would, or maybe two decimal places, that would be y equals negative 0.81 minus 1.08. And y equals negative 0.81 minus 1.88. So if they give you a table of values, you most definitely can find an equation. That's pretty easy to find that equation. Just type those in the calculator. Okay, so now, here's what you're going to do today. You're going to be given a set of cards. And they make a total. So, you're given a set of cards, and they have letters on them, but they make puzzle pieces. Okay, and on each one of them, like that's a slope intercept equation, that's a standard form equation. Well, here's a graph. How do you find a slope intercept from a graph? How do you find the slope? Given a graph. Now up and over, that's what you did yesterday, and then what else do you need to write a slope intercept equation? You're given a graph, what else do you need? You need that y-intercept. So if you're given a graph, you did this yesterday too, so given a graph, you need the slope and you need the y-intercept. You gotta do those two things. So on each one of these, and let's go back here, you're gonna have, oops, come on. Okay, so there's gonna be, for each puzzle, there's gonna be 4 parts. Okay, so each puzzle there's gonna be 4 parts. So you're going to have more than one puzzle. There will be a slope intercept. There will be a standard form. There will be a graph and a point slope. There's going to be 4 parts to every puzzle. And it could be a graph, let me put graph or a table right here. It could be a graph or a table. And they have letters on them, but let me just tell you, A, B, C, D doesn't form a puzzle. And so don't go by the letters. Don't think, oh, I'm going to put them in order, that would be my puzzle, because it doesn't work that way. So you're going to have 4 parts to every puzzle. You should have, let's figure that part out, how many puzzles you got. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put all the parts together. You're going to have to figure out which one goes with which. Well, if I'm given a standard form equation, how am I going to know if it goes with the slope intercept? Well, am I going to have to do the standard form? Put it in the slope intercept form. If I'm given point slope, what am I going to have to do to it? Put it in slope intercept form. If I'm given a graph or a table, I'm going to have to put it in slope intercept. So that's how you're going to interconnect or connect all these puzzle pieces. When you get through with that, you're going to have 4 pieces together. They're going to have 4 letters. So you're going to write down on a sheet of paper with all your group members' names. So on a sheet of paper, you're going to do a couple things. You're going to have group member names. And then you're going to have the puzzle letters green. Like if I have puzzle number 1, my first one doesn't matter. If I just put 4 of them together and maybe my letters are A, G, X, and F. Maybe those 4 pieces form a puzzle. So you'll have all those. That makes sense, that part? Okay. Then the other thing you're going to do, you should have received an email if you had checked your email, but there is a group assignment on here. You're going to have to go to Google Classroom. You're going to need to take a picture of your puzzle together, each one of them, and upload it to Google Classroom. So you're going to turn in that paper with everybody's names on it and those letters on it with whatever work was done to get there. Then you're going to take a picture and upload it to Google Classroom. So I should have entries in here of pictures of these things put together. Any questions? Okay, now, you're going to turn around and go to this group where they have 3, and then these are just going to be together, okay? Has to be done before the end of class. Not only you got to get them done, you've got to do the